A very happy morning. A very happy morning, girls. How are you? I hope you are doing good, and I think now you have the clarity about the papers and so on, right? And I said that you have 4 units in each paper, right? So coming to the numerical analysis, already I informed that the cashier is very important. Otherwise we cannot, okay? Because yesterday I said that some information about the numerical analysis paper, right? So when I am giving the information, I said about the quadratic equation concept. So when we are discussing about the quadratic equation concept, generally, right? So for example, if I am taking that ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And how the equation is? Of course, here I have that the order is 2, that means x square, right? And coming to here, we have that ax square plus bx plus c. That means the variable is nothing but x only. Here I don't have x, y, z. I have only one variable. That's why we have that the chapter is nothing but solution of one variable. One variable means in every equation, if you see, otherwise if you observe while I am saying, otherwise while you are listening the classes, then we are going to take that the equations which have only one variable. So I am coming to this one. Of course, coming to the unit 1, we have the chapter. The first chapter is nothing but the bisection method. Before going to start that bisection method, we have a unit name. The unit name is solutions of equations in one variable. So what is the unit name here? Solutions of equations in one variable. Right. So now see here, I have that, we are going to find the solutions for the equations which are having only one variable. Only one variable. Only one variable means like this. Okay. So here, especially we are not going to solve lengthy equations which are in terms of the x, y, z and so on. Simply we are going to learn about the equations which having only one and only variable. Either maybe it is x or y or s or t, whatever it is. Okay. So you have to remember that one. And coming to here, before going to, already I said that the first chapter is bisection method. Okay. So now in this bisection method, so of course let's put aside, this is a unit name and the chapter is nothing but bisection method. Okay. So this is nothing but the bisection method. Now before going to start the bisection method, I want to give the clarity about this one easily. First of all, I will say easy method, then after that we will go for the next. Okay. So just give me a second. Yeah. So now generally see here, to know about this bisection method, first of all we have to do that. So we have to do that about we have to think about the roots only. So generally see here, I am taking a simple example, that is okay. Otherwise wait, I will say. So here I am taking that generally. So the equation is x square plus 2x plus 2, which is equal to 0. Otherwise simply here I am taking that directly x square plus 4x, okay, plus 2, which is equal to 0. And can I say that this is a quadratic equation of only one variable, that is x? Yes, we can, right? Now here x square plus 4x plus 2, which is equal to 0. And for this one, what we have to do? I have to calculate the values of the x. So for that, we can take that factorization, that is 2 ones are 2, right? So sorry, it is nothing but 4. 4, no? So the the meaning of this one is 2 2s are. So x square plus 2x plus 2x plus 4 equal to 0. Now x of x plus 2 plus 2 of x plus 2 equal to 0. Then x plus 2 common, again x plus 2, which is equal to 0. Therefore x is equal to minus 2 comma minus 2. Now what are the values of the x here? Minus 2 comma minus 2. I hope you know this procedure, right? So now here also we are going to discuss about this one only. But the thing is, here I have the clearly only the numbers like real integers, right? But now onwards we have to get, there is a chance to get the decimal values. Okay, so that's why here I said that the calculus is very important. And before going to discuss all this, now I want to give some basic information about all this, because directly I cannot start. If I start like that, definitely you will get all doubts. Okay, so now here I hope you are clear with this one, right? So this is the question format. They gives like this, and simply we have to find the roots. Okay, but they will not give this much of easy problems. Okay, next, I hope you know about the intervals, closed interval a comma b, for example. Okay, so I hope you know about the types of the intervals also. So if you want to discuss the types of the intervals, then we have that closed interval, open interval, semi-closed, semi-open, and so on. So it is nothing but closed interval. So when they give this interval, then simply we have to take that a and b also. If they gives open interval a comma b, then only we have to take that a and b itself. No need to take that a and b. Between the values of a and b we have to. Okay. So next we have to go for this semi-open or semi-closed. So when it is closed, then we have to include this value. When it is open, don't include that value. Okay. So and in another one, another method is this one. Like this we have to. Okay. I hope it is clear to you. So now here why I am discussing all this, because they are going to give the question in the intervals. They give the question and in closed interval 1 comma 2. So they mention that like this, closed interval 1 comma 2. So the meaning of that one is the equation. For example, see here I have that minus 2 comma minus 2, no? So see if I take the same problem, then simply they will mention that in 0 comma, otherwise simply minus 3 comma minus 1. Okay, so like this they gives. So in this interval this value will rise. The meaning of that one is simply the root, whatever we will get the value for the x, that should realize in the interval. Okay, and here this interval takes major part, because see, first of all here what we have 1 comma 2. Mainly and mostly they gives the closed intervals only. They gives one question some 1 comma 2. Okay, in the interval 1 comma 2. So at that time we have to find that x is equal to, simply every time we have to take that the midpoint. Midpoint means 1 plus 2 by 2, which is nothing but 3 by 2. So which is nothing but 1.5. So now here what happened? Actually we have that the interval is from 1 to 2. Okay. Next I divided it in 2 parts. So that is 1.5. Next we have to check that the root lies between this part or this part. Okay. So now I will check how we have to check the value will lies in this part or this part. Okay. So it totally depends upon the sign of the function value. Sign of the function value means this one. Okay. So now of course I will give one example, simple example I will take, and by that I will give the procedure to how to find the bisection method, and after that I will start the main problem. Okay. Now see, for example, the value, the function value will lies in this one, then no need to take this part. Simply now what you have to do, 1 to 1.5. Again you have to calculate the midpoint, that is 1 plus 1.5 by 2, that is 2.5 by 2, means 1.2. So now it is 1 and it is 1.5 means the middle value is nothing but some 1.2. Again here we have to check that the root lies in this part or in this part. Again, for example, if you have like this. So here what is happening? In the same procedure we have to follow, and finally we will get that one value. So here what is happening? Actually we are filtering the values. Exact గా find out చేస్తున్నాం. Clearly -2 అని clear గా తీసుకున్నాం ఇక్కడ, right? But coming to here, we are going to calculate the roots of a given functions clearly and approximately in decimals. Okay, in this form already we know this one and we have calculated number of problems. But to know about our decimals roots also, we can calculate the roots as a decimals also. So for that we have some procedure. So that is nothing but the bisection method. Now put a side heading bisection method and write down. In this chapter, we consider one of the most basic problems of numerical approximation. Actually our paper name is numerical analysis. So numerical means numbers. Totally we are going to learn about the numbers only. Okay, that's why I said that we have a totally problematic. It is a problematic paper, otherwise we have a lot of problems. Okay, now write down numerical approximation, comma, the root finding problem. This process involves finding a root or solution of an equation of the form f of x equal to 0, for a given function f. Okay, next line, write in the next line. A root of this equation is also called a zero of the function f. Okay, next put a side heading bisection technique. Now write down the first technique based on the intermediate value theorem is called the bisection or binary search method. Okay, next line, write in the next line. Now write down as step by step, because by seeing this one you have to get the clarity. So that's why I am saying that in your convenient way just write. Okay, I am dictating. Now write down. Suppose f is a continuous function defined on the interval closed interval a comma b. F is a continuous function which is defined on a closed interval a comma b. Okay, with f of a comma f of b, with f of A and f of B of opposite sign. Of opposite sign. The meaning of that word is if it is plus, definitely we have to get that f of B as a minus. If it is minus, then definitely we have to get that plus. Try to understand clearly. Next line. The intermediate value theorem implies that a number P exists in open interval a comma b. Of course, closed interval a comma b means the root lies between a and b. That's why open interval a comma b with f of p equal to 0. We have to take that the point is nothing but p, and by substituting this p, we have to get that the value is 0. Then because here I have that x equal to minus 2, and if I substitute this minus 2, x equal to minus 2 in the equation, obviously we have to get that it is equal to 0, no? So that's what they are saying. P exists in open interval a comma b with f of p equal to 0. That is the intermediate value theorem. Next, write down. The procedure will work when there is more than one root in the interval open interval a comma b. We assume for simplicity that the root in this interval is unique. Next line. The method calls for repeated halving. Or bisecting. Bisecting means bi means 2, right? Actually it is a total interval. Bisecting means sectioning. We are dividing, okay? So bi means 2. So 2 parts को divide करें. Every time it divides the interval into 2 parts. That's why bisection. Okay? Bisecting of subintervals of closed interval a comma b, and at each step locating the half containing p. Okay, next line, right on. To start, put this a, okay? A is equal to a1, b is equal to b1. Okay, and let p1. So every time the p value will be changed. For the first time p1 is equal to, we will get one value, and for the next repeated, they are saying that repeated no. So next time p2, p3, p4, p5 like that we have to collaborate. That's why they are mentioning clearly. Okay, a1, b1, and here p1 equal to, here just now I said that the what is the midpoint value, a plus b by 2. So that's why a1 plus b1 by 2, and here we will get one value. Okay, a1 plus b1 by 2. So next what you have to do is write down again point wise. So now here what I said, we have to, first of all we have to take that one function, and we have to check that the intervals. Okay, so first of all see, we have to take one function and interval. We have to check about f of a and f of b, and next we have to go for the f of p means this one by using this formula. And next line, if these are main points. If f of p1 equal to 0, then P equal to P1, then P equal to P1. That means that is a required rule. We done. Okay? P equal to P1. We are done. So you can stop the procedure if you get like this. Next point write down. If f of P1 is not equal to 0, then f of P1 has the same sign as either f of A1 or f of B1. First write it, after that I will explain. Next point, if f of P1 and f of A1 have the same sign, comma, P belongs to. So if it has the same sign, then simply you have to write that P belongs to P1 comma B1. P1 comma B1. P1 comma B1 and therefore P1 equal to A2 and here B1 is all same as it is. B1 equal to B1. Next. Otherwise here you are going for the next iteration now, so you can take that B1 is equal to B2. Next point, if f of P1 and f of B1 have the same sign, then P belongs to A1 comma here P1. No need to take that B1 here. Okay. So now simply what they are saying, otherwise simply see here. I am taking the same sign concept. So when we have that f of P1 and f of A1 have the same sign, then that root belongs to P1 comma B1. Okay. I will take the numbers and I will give the clarity. Then you will please don't confuse, because here I am taking the generally alphabets. So definitely you will get some confusion. So please don't confuse. Here I will take the numbers also. Okay. So now here I wrote that if f of P1 and f of B1 have the same sign, then P belongs to A1 comma P1. Otherwise f of P1 and f of A1 have opposite sign. Both are same. Okay. Have opposite sign. Then what we have to say? Then P belongs to simply same thing, A1 comma P1. Okay. So then set. Therefore what we have to then write down. A2 is equal to A1. A2 is equal to A1, and what we have to consider? The value of the B1 is equal to P1. Okay. So these are the main points you have to remember. And now here I will take a small example to understand easily. Now see clearly. So here simply they gives that one equation. Of course we have to consider that equation with f. So I think, so simple example, I am taking 2x square someplace 4x plus 5 which is equal to 0 in closed interval something I am taking for example only. Okay. 2 comma 3. Otherwise x cube plus 4x square minus 10 equal to 0 in closed interval 1 comma 2. Okay. So this is the equation, and the given interval is 1 comma 2. Okay. And here now I am not going to start the problem. First of all here just I am giving the clarity with numbers. Okay. So now here we have to consider that f is equal to x cube plus 4x square minus 10. This is a f of x. Now what we have to do next? We have to check that it is a continuous or not. Is it a continuous? Yes, because we know that every algebraic equation, logarithmic equation, exponential equations and trigonometric equations, all these are continuous. So here we have that simply algebraic functions. That's why here we can say that yes, f is a continuous function in closed interval 1, 2. Okay, so just here I am writing the given information only. Okay, I am not taking any new thing here. Now here what is the value of the a? A is nothing but 1 and b is nothing but 2. Clear? So now here we have to check that the sign of the f of a and f of b. So that's why here what we have to do? It is f of x. No? So now here f of a we have to calculate. F of a means what is a value here? 1. So now here what we have to substitute? Simply we have to take that x is equal to 1. Then 1 plus 4 minus 10. 5 minus 10, that is minus 5. So it is a less than 0 or a greater than 0? Less than 0. Right? So it is nothing but negative simply. The sign is negative. Next, f of b. What is f of b? Means f of 2. Right? So I am substituting 2 in the place of x. Then 2 cube is 8 plus 4 of 2 square is 4. For 4s are 16 minus 10, which is nothing but here what we get 16 plus 8, 24 minus 10, that is 14, which is greater than 0, which is nothing but positive. So in the procedure what they said, definitely f of a and f of b are opposite, having opposite signs, right? So here if you observe clearly, f of a is a negative and f of b is a positive. So now the meaning of this one is the root of this equation. The value of this x will lies between 1 and 2. Okay. So now here this is the first step to start the problem. Here still now we didn't start the problem. Simply just I check that the sign of the f of a and sign of the f of b. So here we have the opposite sign. So what they said? See, if you see clearly, they gave that f of a and f of b of opposite sign. Okay. So then we have to go for the next step. So now here what we have to do? We have to calculate P1. So P1 means what is the formula? P1 is equal to A1 plus B1 by 2. So what is A1 here? A is equal to A1. B is equal to B1. So 1 plus 2 by 2. So here 3 by 2 means 1.5. Now what is the value of P1 here? It is a 1.5. Now next here, of course it is a iteration 1. Okay, so now here what we have to do? We have to substitute this f of p1 in this equation. So f of p1 means 1.5 whole cube plus 4 of 1.5 whole square minus 10. And here we will get the value, right, which is nothing but some constant. So now see here, if it gets 0, okay, if this value is 0, then just simply we have to stop the procedure and the required root is 1.5. That's it. And if it is, so see here what we have, f of a is negative, f of b is positive. And by calculating this f of p1, if this f of p1, that means f of 1.5, okay, by solving this one, if we have the value, the sign is negative. Negative means f of p1 and f of a, right? These are same. What they said, see here, f of p1 is not equal to 0, right? Then we have to go for these two steps. So in this first step is f of p1 and f of a1 have the same sign. Then we have to take the p1 and b1. So here I have a negative one. If I get it is a negative, then see clearly I am showing here it is a 1 and a 2. And next what is the middle one? 1.5. Okay. If this sign and this sign is same, if we get here negative, then ignore this one. Take this interval. Now this P1 is belongs to which interval? 1.5 comma 2. Or if we get it is a positive, then we have to ignore this 2 and the interval is 1 comma 1.5. Okay, every time we have to choose the interval having opposite signs. Okay, so that's it. So then we will get that again same thing. right? So the next here we have to consider the interval, and here we will get that the values p1 and whatever. Next again we have to repeat the plot. Next p2 is nothing but we have, by taking this interval, new interval, we have to calculate p2. Next same procedure again. Here the procedure is same, but we have to take that the number of iterations are like 10 or 15, sometimes 20 iterations also. So that's why I said that the calci is very important, and I said that this is a very lengthy procedure to calculate the roots also. Okay. So in the next class, of course, I will discuss one example. So please, if you have calci, then please try to bring all those daily. Of course, you are not coming, but please girls, if you don't have any calci, otherwise you can use mobiles also for the basic calculation. Okay, and I hope it is clear to you, and if you have any doubts you can ask me. Okay, thank you.